First of all, thank you to the Leadership Business Council. You've done a great job, and it's our sincere pleasure to sponsor this breakfast and share the stage with the highly accomplished Mr. Tim Gannon. I am a huge, huge fan of Bole, and I know that folks at the office also are. I wanted to use my 5 minutes today to share some history on JP Morgan rather than tell you kind of what we do. JP Morgan is built on the foundation of more than 1,200 companies. Our legacy dates back to 1799, and we have a history of strong leadership during times of economic growth and also financial instability. In 1871, Pierpont Morgan and Anthony Drexel formed Drexel, Morgan & Co. with a primary mission to finance the growth of America. Along with the help of his father, Junius, who was living in London at the time, Pierpont was instrumental in convincing wealthy Europeans to invest in America. He was a true visionary in every sense of the word, known for his steady hand and unwavering integrity. Not only did he provide financing to make America what it is today, but he was also a risk-taking entrepreneur in his own right. In 1901, Pierpont established U.S. Steel by merging Carnegie Steel with 33 other companies. The deal was unprecedented, valuing U.S. Steel at $1.4 billion, the first billion-dollar company in the world. Now, what I find particularly interesting is Pierpont's early backing of Edison, which was unlike anything he'd ever done before. Pierpont thought he was better at consolidating companies instead of promoting new ones. Yet in 1878, he was immediately attracted to electricity, as he called it a world-at-large opportunity. He knew that to make it a reality, the industry needed a forward-thinking and patient sponsor, and he jumped at the chance. He backed the highly unconventional Edison with $50,000 in capital and tirelessly shepherded the company to success, embracing the very, very volatile innovation process. He led by example by being the first to wire his house with electricity, even though his library did burn down and his wife apparently was very, very upset with him. In 1892, Pierpont facilitated the merger of Edison General and Thomson Houston that led to the formation of GE as we know it today. GE is the only company in the initial Dow Jones Industrial Average that has stayed throughout the 20th century. As you know, it was only removed in June of this year. During times of trouble, Pierpont was also the de facto lender of last resort, the unofficial central banker, if you will. Twice he was called to bail out America. The first instance came during the Panic of 1893. Pierpont rescued America's gold standard by leading a banking syndicate that loaned more than $62 million to the federal government. He collaborated with the Rothschilds in Europe to purchase 3.5 million ounces of gold and then swapped it for 30-year U.S. government bonds. He sold the entire issue in New York in under 22 minutes. The second time came in 1907 when he was called out of semi-retirement by President Theodore Roosevelt to restore stability in the financial markets. He had an uncanny ability to read the financial sentiment and determine the best outcome. Pierpont held a meeting with the country's top financiers in his New York City home and convinced them to bail out various financial institutions. When I say convince them, I mean he literally locked them in his library until they agreed to a large enough bailout package. Due to his resolute leadership, he saved several trust companies and leading brokerages. He also bailed out New York City and rescued the New York Stock Exchange. In summary, as you can tell, I'm a bit of a fan, Pierpont Morgan was a true visionary who wanted to make the world a better place. And I truly think that culture still lives in our company today. Unlike other entrepreneurs of his time, he wasn't in it to simply line his pockets. As a matter of fact, when he died, Rockefeller is known for having said, and he wasn't even a rich man. During my research, I spoke with the author of the book, Morgan, American Financier, Dr. Jean Strauss, and I asked her, how would you describe Pierpont Morgan? She simply replied, Diego, the man was a leader. So, where do we stand today? JP Morgan is still innovating. Last week we announced that we're investing $500 million over 5 years to bolster global cities, and that's in addition to the $200 million we give annually to nonprofits. We're a global bank with 250,000 employees serving clients in over 100 countries. JP Morgan is the largest bank in the US with $2.8 trillion in assets and the world's most valuable bank with a market cap of $384 billion. Before I turn it over to Mr. Gannon, I'd like to leave you with a quote from Pierpont Morgan himself. "Money equals business, which equals power, all of which come from character and trust." Thank you very much.